Gather around the old Victrola kiddies, because it's time for another episode of the Barry, Rich, and Lisa radio program.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the Barry, Rich, and Lisa show. I'm Lisa Bowman with Barry. Oh, welcome, Rich. That's
I'm
Rich.
So glad to be invited back.
Yeah, we need name tags.
Say hi, Barry.
Hi, Barry.
There's so many people in here.
Yeah, well, we're here because things are shut down. I'm just shutting down as we speak, like our government.
And our roads.
Roads.
They're shut
Well, locally, our roads have been shut down.
Yeah, because they're paving them or something.
Doing something.
Yeah, they're stimulating
Ruining our
them.
lives, that's what they're doing. The government shutdown and paving roads is ruining my life.
Really?
Not really.
Oh, okay. That's
My
good.
800,000 paychecks are not going out. I believe ours are included in that 800,000 that are not going out.
I'm different. I've never seen one from the government. I've not been on that end of the government program.
Well, when they gear up, I think they're going to pay us to not be on the air.
Well, listen, it's like throwing milk into the river. You know, they threw the milk into they paid the farmers not to grow cows or milk cow.
Thank you, Barry.
All right. Yeah.
But there's upsides and downsides to this shutdown. I mean,
What are the upsides?
Well, the upsides, they canceled a Ku Klux Klan rally.
That may be worth the government shutdown right there.
That's at the Gettysburg National Military Park this weekend, and it's Ixnay on the alley Ray Snay.
And that's going to ruin the business for all the people who are going to dry clean the sheets.
That's right. What vendors come to a Ku Klux Klan meeting? Get your red... Oh, never mind.
Well, I must say it's nice that local merchants, in that D.C. area. Oh, by the way, the traffic has got to be a lot better in D.C.
Yeah, I've heard that on the radio.
Oh, God, it's awful. It's just awful.
It's not bad.
But they're trying to just ease the pain a little bit. For instance, Z Burger in Virginia is giving away free burgers for lunch and dinner during the shutdown.
Wow. Well, you got to show a government ID.
And don't be picky.
Do you get a Coke with that or fries?
Because everybody in D.C. has a government ID.
Pretty much.
Well, they didn't say how much they give away, but people are, this is a great, Hyundai jumped in and said anybody who works for the government doesn't have to make their car payment until they're back on the getting checks. So this is yay! This is marketing. This is the best thing that happened.
This is America.
Get mileage out of this.
This is the free enterprise system taking advantage of the unfree enterprise system.
Did you get the pun? Hyundai getting mileage out of it?
Do you think any congressman in all of D.C. drives a Hyundai?
There might be some Ed Begley type. There might be some green one, or one or two green ones. It's possible. Let's
see what else. Oh, Pork Barrel Barbecue, which is tongue in cheek. Pork Barrel Barbecue is giving away pulled pork sandwiches to government employees. One restriction. No congressman.
No congressman.
Well, that's unfair to the Jewish sect.
No, I don't know.
Well, because the Jews aren't allowed to eat the pork.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but there's a couple of things I wonder about, and one of them is the TSA's government employees. Have they been shut down?
I believe they have.
There's a lot of lonely people who go to the airport to be frisked just to have company. They're sorry you're going to have to.
I never looked at it that way.
I wonder about the border guards, the people
they've never been there anyway.
What was it Jimmy Fallon said, or Jimmy Kimmel, or Jimmy
all the same.
Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Cricket, yes.
Somebody said the passport offices are closed. The lines in the passport office are taking exactly the same amount of time.
Well, here's for people of the Jewish persuasion.
Okay.
The historic I Street Synagogue in D.C. has turned down into shutdown central. Furloughed employees can play ping pong, they can have free coffee, and they can use the synagogue's Wi-Fi for free.
I mean, they used to charge?
Apparently.
Oh, my gosh. Well.
So that's nice. I guess Christians not allowed? No, maybe they allow.
Oh, no.
They're inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone's
welcome into the fold.
Do they have to wear a hat? a cat.
A little Yamaku.
Yamaka.
Yamakuma.
Okay, well, we hope this doesn't go on. Maybe by the time this airs, the shutdown will be over. But I think probably not until Wall Street has a fit. And then,
Oh, they're going to throw a hissy fit too.
it starts dumping and yeah.
Yes, this is all a negotiation. It's all will be fixed. I mean, I'm sure.
You think you're sure?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, people have often wondered what life without a government would be like.
Well, we really had a government, or have we had a monarchy?
Well, let me give you my diatribe. My diatribe is the problem is these days with cable
Television
shows and very rich and Lisa shows.
We're part of the problem, not part of the solution.
We are part of the problem. There's a 24/7 media blitz, and so politicians are always campaigning. They're always trying to make the other guy look bad and make themselves look good. So nobody's governing right now. Everybody's campaigning. The Republicans are trying to make the Democrats look bad. The Democrats will say, okay, fine, you don't want to fund the government. We'll put guards at the national parks and keep people out. And that'll make the Republicans look bad.
Well, who are we trying to make look bad? Us.
Anybody but us.
Anybody but us.
So I have my fix for government.
What's that?
I'm ready. One 6-year term for president and you're out. No re-election.
I vote for that.
Okay.
Once you get into office, all you can do is think about maybe you could do something good and leave a good legacy. You don't spend the first 4 years working on the second 4 years.
All right.
Okay, two. Senate. One Senate seat in each state is a revolving door. In California, I prefer if it were boxers. But no, what this means is that one Senate seat, you can park there for 100 years. But the other one every 6 years has to be a new person.
Well,
wait, you lost me. Okay. One person, but what revolving?
There are two senators in each state.
But they switch off.
One of the Senate seats, and you just flip a coin and pick up. I prefer Feinstein to stay, but you in the state of California, that one seat, the person can run forever in that seat. Feinstein can run for re-election forever. The other seat in each state has to be populated by a new senator every 6 years. So that one seat, you can't run for re-election.
And the thinking behind this
is just helping to keep fresh blood and not professional politicians populating the entire government.
But one of them is like Pope.
Forever.
Pope?
Pope. I mean, in there for life.
Well, it's a trade-off, but okay. But so that's fine. 3. I'm ready to move on unless you really want to.
I'm just utterly
exhausted,
bored. Yeah.
So, okay. 3 is quick. Not a 2-year congressional term anymore, but a 4-year, because when they're running every 2 years, they never stop campaigning. They're always looking to the next election. And
what about just eliminate campaigns?
Oh, good idea.
What, by birth? We're going to have an aristocracy?
Yeah, just an aristocracy.
No, they all have regulated time speeches. It's all, you don't do it by how much money you have. It's set up for everybody's equal. Everybody has equal time on the television, equal time on the radio, equal time on speaches.
But in theory, they do.
No, they don't.
If you're a front runner, in theory.
Well, not if you have more money than the other guy, then you get to spend more and
buy more commercials.
No more commercials. No more commercials. It's all just speeches and things like that. That's all regulated.
I agree with that because it's become nothing but money and the way you look and how you sound.
Right.
Abraham Lincoln could never have gotten
elected.
No
hair transplants. And no makeup.
Okay, I have one more fix that Lisa will like.
Okay.
A 10-year moratorium on men in political office.
Oh, those good men in political shorts.
We've been running the show since the time began, and look what a crummy job men have done.
Men? Are you talking about the male species?
Yes. Let only women run for political office and give them a chance to ruin everything.
Yes.
Okay, I will answer that only with this one statement that Barbara Boxer, a woman, made way back when she was first elected. And she stood there. I've never forgotten this moment on TV. And she said, and we're going to make it so everybody can go to college for free. And I thought, wow, what have we just done? So that's how I feel about making it all women. If you can get Golda Meir back,
Right.
or and I don't mind Dianne Feinstein.
Do you
How about
think?
livestock?
Sound effect. Do you think women can be as tough as men?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did I ever tell you my dentist story?
No.
No.
Okay, I went for.
Was that? Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Okay, I went for a root. Thank you very much. I went for a root canal, and it's a dental office I always go to, and they had a new woman dentist there. And in a root canal, you have to dig into this calcium part into your tooth. It's very painful, but
I'm
it
feeling queasy.
has to be cleaned out, and it's painful. And so she's digging in with the drill, and I'm feeling some pain. But she go, "Oh, are you feeling pain?" "Yes, I am. But I have to get this done, but I can't do this because you're feeling pain, but it has to be done." So she called in the chief of staff. He comes in. "What's the problem?" "Well, he's feeling pain, but the calcium..." "Let me handle this." They're all done. Thank you.
Was he Dr. Mengele?
No, he's Dr. Get It Done,
Was she young?
Medium.
Medium young?
Medium young, but she
young.
just was
Not
so
well young.
She was so sensitive
Rare,
to
yeah.
my pain. She couldn't do it.
Well, why don't you just, my dentist had a syringe of the goop. You in pain?
Yeah, no, I had that, but this is a
More,
real.
please.
Yeah, no. So she, and he just came in and he got it done in 10 seconds.
See, I would have no problem causing you pain.
Oh, really? Oh, we'll talk about it.
What is it about that little doll
And now
up
that
there?
Chuck's
Oh,
out,
no,
now
that-
that her husband's out of town, she has opportunity.
Oh, please.
Oh,
Oh, my
please.
God.
Now I got time, but no energy. Okay. So let's talk about dead people. Speaking of lack of energy.
People have been dying
They
in
have
record
been.
numbers.
Dead people have nobody. Dead people have nobody to love.
Oh,
No, we love dead people anyway.
because
Who died?
Tom Clancy.
Oh, the writer.
Yeah, the writer. 66. That's way too young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an author, for those of you who don't know it, and 4 of his books have been made into movies.
Yeah.
Good ones, too. Hunt for Red October.
Oh, yeah.
When Alec Baldwin was more svelte and less crazy.
Yeah, yes.
Just like you and me, huh, Rich?
Yeah. And then Harrison Ford in Patriot Games and
Yeah.
Clear and Present Danger. They were all played the same character, Jack Ryan, who was the hero. He worked at the CIA.
The CIA.
And what's so interesting is Tom Clancy was never in the military. He failed the eye test. He was very nearsighted. But the Navy publishing house, where it was published his first book, and that was it. And then, of course, the military loved him, and so he got a lot of access to information, and that's why his novels had so much clarity and intricacy and details.
He had a lot of.
He had a remarkable relationship.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, that really helps, and it gives the reader insights into what's really going on too.
Yeah, he was an insurance salesman or something like
Wow.
that. And also,
Well, then let's not forget Ben Affleck.
He died too?
No, he did, kind of in the movie.
couple of his films, yeah.
He did The Sum of All Fears, which was the last movie, I think, to be...
Did anybody see that?
I did. Morgan Freeman was in it, and I liked him.
Yeah, I liked him.
think James Earl Jones was probably... I don't, maybe he wasn't in the last one, but he was the character throughout both, the Harrison Ford and Alec Baldwin movie. So sorry that you're dead, Tom, but no longer get you mixed up with Thomas Wolfe.
They're nothing alike. Nothing.
And then somebody that I knew.
Is this why this was in here?
Yeah, I knew Chuck Smith. I was involved in the late 60s in the early Jesus People movement. And that was when young people, there was a revival. And it was, this guy had a lot to do with it. He started wearing Hawaiian shirts. He's a pastor in a very, very fundamental church.
I was going to say that's
Foursquare
evangelical Calvary Chapel movement.
It was the church was part of the Foursquare Church, which is Amy Semple McPherson.
So who was Chuck Smith?
Chuck Smith was the pastor of this church,
Yeah.
and he started appealing to young people. And, first of all, you can show up at a Calvary Chapel, grab a cup of coffee in the back of the room and go sit in your seat and, enjoy the service with coffee. I mean, that was
Well, coffee's never been an illegal substance.
not in the service, though.
But it keeps you awake through the service.
Oh, I
It keeps
see.
you awake in the service.
So he had mercy on his
He's the guy
system.
who went down to Corona del Mar because they have a little bay there that doesn't have waves, and they would have mass baptisms of young people right out there. And they got
Wow.
You can YouTube that.
So
can
you'd
see-
get a tan and get baptized.
right
baptized.
in the ocean.
Yes. Yeah. We had, communion, if you've ever been to a church that has communion with this little thimble of a lot of times grape juice or this wafer that is, you swear is inorganic. we had communion with sourdough bread.
Little locks and
Yeah. Seconds on the communion plate.
So you Protestants don't do the hard stuff. You don't do
Well,
real
it depends.
wine.
The Lutherans do the real wine
Okay.
stuff, but the evangelicals tend to do grape juice. But if you let it sit long enough,
Catholics, we go right for it. Jesus said wine,
yes.
not
Chuck-
wine. He
Nice.
said wine.
Wine.
Chuck Smith is in a better place.
I guess a little controversial though, wasn't he?
Well, that's an interesting story. One of the greatest people in the Christian movement, young Christian movement, is a guy named Lonnie Frisbee, who...
Frisbee?
Yeah, it's his name. He was a long-haired, hippie freak, Jesus person.
Was that his real last name?
Frisbee, yeah. Lonnie Frisbee.
Did his parents take it from the
I think his last name was Whammo. But he was a controversial sort. He struggled with homosexuality and while simultaneously being really involved in a fundamentalist church. And then there was some struggles with that. Lonnie Frisbee was buried, his body was buried at Crystal Cathedral. In fact, Billy Graham said, no person led more people to belief in Jesus Christ on a one-to-one basis than Lonnie Frisbee.
But where would you get buried at the
There are
Crystal
people that
Cathedral?
were buried. In fact,
Everybody would see you. It's all glass.
well, no, they
the parking
buried
lot?
very few people there. They actually have it's sort of a recognition status of a tremendous accomplishment.
Now that the Orange County Archdiocese has taken over the Crystal Cathedral, I wonder if
This
those
could be
people will be.
resurrection.
See if they move those people.
That's right. But enough about that. Good luck, Chuck.
Okay. Well, this one on a lighter note. I guess. Well, the Susan G. Komen for the Cure needs funding like any charity
What do
does.
they work on breast cancer?
Breast cancer, yeah. But they have their standards. They have turned down a generous donation from the Crazy Girls, which is Las Vegas's longest running adult cabaret revue on the Strip. And they said it just doesn't feel right for us to accept
Those boobs.
But that's what they're, that's what they sell
That's
or
not
boobs.
right. That's not right. Here's somebody who wants to give, and they're judgmental as to who wants to give.
They're trying to save what these girls are showing.
Yeah, exactly. Huh? What did am I agreeing with myself?
Yeah, you agree with that. Yeah.
I can't tell.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's right at all. It's okay. I'm running around in circles. This is called circular thinking. I've learned this now, that my thoughts come around in circles, and every time they come around, I say the same thing again. And it's like a merry-go-round. Somebody has to unpull the plug, and somebody
I'm
please.
pulling your plug.
Thank you very much. Okay.
I've stood in the middle of the room and turned in circles, but not same things. But they've got other takers.
Well, toys for tots, and I'm not going for the changing of the vowels in any of that. Do the math at home. Those Marines, they'll take it. But I like Larry Flint. Did you see what he was doing?
Oh, yeah. Well, he got together in July. He organized this Flight of the Tatas. It was a topless charity skydive, and you had to pay $400 to participate. And I'll bet you they got a lot of takers on that
A lot of guys with binoculars.
Woo!
So it took some people longer to get down than others.
They should have done something in the water with flotation devices.
Yeah.
Some of those women could never drown.
Well, anything that
I've seen a woman. Yeah, I've seen a woman like that wear a T-shirt that said, "This is not a flotation device." Yeah.
you know, let's get serious for 1 second. You know, when I realized what a horrible thing breast cancer was when Paul McCartney's love of his life, Linda, died. Because here's a billionaire who would have spent every dime he had to keep her alive, and yet it just, when it hits you, and there's no coming back.
Yeah.
So, thank you. I think we should go over and support the crazy girls, every weekend.
You'd like to hold them up, wouldn't you?
I'd like to feed their living bras. I don't know what that means.
Is this a children's show?
Not anymore.
Well, do you want to do the serious story or the more fun one? Let's do the more fun one.
Okay.
And then we'll take a break.
Okay.
Okay. There is a real human behind the voice of Siri. So all of you men who are secretly in love with Siri, there is a woman.
Oh.
Her name is Susan.
Susan is Siri?
Susan Bennett.
Is she Indian?
Huh? Indian Siri? I don't know what Siri stands for.
No.
Do we know what Siri stands for?
No.
What is Siri?
Truth, justice, the American way.
No, they sampled her voice. So she recorded a bunch of crazy phrases for 4 hours every day during the summer of 2005. They just had to be able to construct, other phrases from, they sampled for piano.
So obviously she couldn't record everything that possibly could be said, but they could use her voice from what they recorded and build things from it.
Yeah, and reconstruct it. So there had to be some original voice. That even though Apple and Nuance won't confirm her role, they're pretty sure. So they may have sampled some others, but
it's the guy that said, "You've got mail." Is he still around?
It's you!
Yes.
That was the original Stephen Case.
Who's Stephen? You know this? How could you know this?
Well, come on.
Oh,
I know
okay.
trivia.
Oh.
That was the voice of the original owner of AOL, because that's where you've got mail.
Yeah.
That was Stephen Case. That was his, the original CEO.
Does he get royalties every time that's played?
No,
somewhere?
but I think he's not doing too badly.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Voice recognition and that. Have you ever done Via Voice or Dragon Speak? It's one of these things where you could actually speak your book into your computer in text form.
I've got it on my computer right here.
Wait, you read your own book into...
You plug a microphone and into the computer and a little headgear, and you could actually recite your book into the computer, and it will text it in.
It'll write it.
It'll write it. It's called Dragon Speak, is the newest version. But you know how they do that is they have you plug in, you buy the software, and then they have a 10-minute or 5-minute story that they want you to read. And you read it, and what that story has, it learns your voice, because the story has every inflection, every sound.
Yeah.
And so I read the story, and then I put in a policy procedures manual for my kid's school, which was, obscure and esoteric, and it was flawless. But then I thought, and it was saved under the voice file Rich, and I just wanted to test it, so I had somebody else come in, put on the headgear under Rich, and recite a page of the same thing, and it was all over the board. It wouldn't do it right because it didn't know that voice.
Like them like it likes you.
Yeah.
So we could do our show like that and then bind it and have it in book form printed out.
Right. Yeah.
And bind it, and people could buy volumes and volumes of the Barry, Rich, and Lisa show. So I guess during the break we better get started.
Yes. Dragon.
It's called Dragon Speak.
Okay, we'll
available everywhere.
And we'll be right back.
Okay.
And Lisa. And Lisa.
Speaking of close shaves, let's take a look at Sinead O'Connor.
Oh.
How many of you know her? She was a singer from way back when. who had a couple of marginal songs. She's Irish, and was a bit controversial and sort of eclectic. Well, she's ramped up to, or stepped up to the plate to advise Miley Cyrus to stop prostituting herself.
Yeah, she wrote her an open letter, which I thought was really thoughtful. Okay, it may have had a few expletives in it, but she's trying to head off a train wreck that may be inevitable, since Miley says that, weed is the best drug on earth and Molly is really good too, which is ecstasy, right? Molly's ecstasy.
Molly's ecstasy. I don't know.
Who knows? You can tell how many drugs we do here, but we may after the show.
It might be like Advil.
Cool.
I don't know.
But she said, I'm extremely concerned for you. That those around you have led you to believe or encouraged you in your own belief that it in any way is cool to be naked and licking sledgehammers in your videos.
I saw somebody licking a truck on Facebook today. It was supposed to be a sexy picture.
A truck?
Yeah.
Not
no, it was a tractor. That's what it was.
Oh, even sexier?
Even sexier. Anyway, I digress. So
Okay. Well, it is dangerous, Miley. You know what I finally realized? I kept thinking, well, is it that when they become rich and famous and everybody is, the sycophants are around them, and that's why they turn out that way? They have too much money. What is it? And I think maybe when you get to where you think you want to be, which is famous, and you find out there's no there.
Yeah.
That what do you do then? Then you have to escape because there's no way down, nowhere to go but down.
Yeah.
Maybe
this all there is. This is it.
Or you have reached the point where you don't have to worry anymore. You don't have to try anymore. It's like, I don't have to be anything anybody else wants me to be. I can be anything I want and do anything I want.
But it's vacuous. In fact, one of the most profound things I've ever heard, and it was the title of a book, of a biography, "The Journey is the Reward."
Oh, yeah.
So we're so busy clawing our way to the top, we don't stop and look at people who have done that and have just fallen apart.
Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, yeah.
Monteith, the guy from Glee, on heroin. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so, yeah, but Sinead is trying.
But she's very trying. And Miley's found that out. Miley responded in her own, hey, just whatever, she got back into Sinead O'Connor's face, and now Sinead is upset and threatening legal action.
Well, she compared it to Amanda Bynes undergoing psychiatric treatment, and Sinead O'Connor saying, wait, this is a real problem for people like, some of us, and where do you get away with being that kind of person? And so she's,
called being 20. It's called being stupid. 20. And So there, Sinead says she won't talk to her. Miley said, let's talk. No, I'll talk to you when, you're in rehab.
Sounds like our government.
Yeah. When you're in rehab. Yeah. When you're
celebrity shutdown.
Yeah, the Sinead, Miley wars. Ho hum.
Ho hum. On the other hand, Mia Farrow says that her son Ronan might be Frank Sinatra's son.
Really?
Might be. And if you've seen pictures, I would say it's within the realm of distinct possibility.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a way they can test the DNA?
Well, it certainly doesn't look like Woody Allen.
Yeah, that's what
Who was the significant other at the time?
Now, what do they use for DNA since Frank is gone?
No.
Well, there's got to be hair. Or I think you could even go to an offspring, couldn't you?
I don't know.
I haven't been involved in too many paternity suits.
DNA, but you just put a picture of the three of them up there. Mia said that Frank was the one true love of her life. And so they apparently stayed in contact. Let's see, Ronan's 25 years old. So that means he was, my son's 25 and he was born in 88. I'm guessing Ronan was born about the same time.
And when did Frank Sinatra die?
84. No, I'm kidding.
He's really? Are you sure he said? Okay, wait, because Farrow said she continued her relationship with Frank Sinatra while she was involved with Woody Allen, but she was married to Sinatra 66 to 68. He is 25, so that they dallied for quite a while. Well, the Sinatra family has embraced him. Oh. Nancy Sinatra said he's a big part of us, so I think maybe they know.
Wow.
Don't tell anyone.
Okay, it's our little secret.
But Woody Allen says, no, I'm the dad. I'm the dad.
Did he really? No.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But
he's married to Pharaoh's estranged daughter anyway, and Ronan's maybe
Sinatra
sister.
died in 98, and he would have been 78 when Ronan was conceived.
whoa.
And that's when he came out with the song, I Get Around.
I'll do it my way.
That's right.
I did it my way, yes. Boy, he did.
Wow.
Do you remember last week? Of course, I remember nothing from last week, but we have been doing a few stories about kids being suspended for gun.
Oh, yeah. The guy with the
Things.
kid with the air guns.
Yeah.
The kid with the air gun, yeah.
Well, there's a new one, and his name is Jordan Bennett. And
Susan Bennett was Siri.
Siri could be.
Probably.
Wow.
But I think he's
Coincidence?
Frank
You decide.
Sinatra's son.
For love. Oh, go ahead.
He was suspended for an invisible gun.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Am I sitting down?
Yes.
Oh, then I can't get any lower. Okay, tell me this story. I
He
don't believe
pointed a finger and pow.
No.
Sure?
That's how guys do it.
Yeah, except that was my job. Now
Well,
you
it says pow.
I was supposed to make the sound effects.
Well,
but-
go ahead.
How do you
can
spell?
Edit. You can edit me out.
no, you've already done it. No.
How do you spell?
Wait a minute. This is 2013, United States, America, intelligent people running the country. Well, never mind.
Never mind.
Okay,
They're not running
I
it.
rest my case.
8 years old. The kid is 8 years old.
I'm gone. I can't even conceive this.
Yeah.
I can't conceive it. He used his finger.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
The school considered it an act of violence, even though there's nothing specific in their code of conduct that says you can't point your finger and say pow pow or
Oh my
not
God.
pow pow. But yeah.
There's nothing to say.
And you wonder why the government is shut down.
Let them shut it down and don't open it again.
I agree.
The school's code of conduct prohibits students from playing with invisible guns.
Oh, no.
There it was in black and white, and he broke the rule.
He did, yes.
He
Well, it
couldn't,
wasn't invisible. It was his finger.
but it wasn't even a gun.
What if you just go bang, bang and don't hold anything up?
Yeah. Or what if you have an invisible nuclear bomb?
Listen,
I'm invisible.
Hand grenades.
How about
Listen, if you're going to get suspended, you go ahead and use a machine gun or an AK, go for it.
You know what I would bring? I'd bring an invisible chainsaw. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
listen, in Rhode Island, a 12-year-old got suspended because a keychain fell out of his backpack that had a little, gun replica, a little thing. And they suspended him for that. What's he going to do? Poke somebody? I mean,
God.
They're insane.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Political correctness.
No, it's beyond
an absurd extreme.
Isn't that insanity?
it is insanity. And by the way, do you remember when the Republicans had something where they had targets on a map where they were going to, I think it was Sarah Palin or something, the campaign. They were targeting,
yeah.
and then we weren't supposed to use any gun references. And last night I saw a little soundbite from Obama where he referred to the Republicans putting a gun to the head of the, and
Suspended.
yeah, that's
Was that an
invisible gun.
invisible gun? Mm-hmm. Well, that's the Republicans. I wonder if the Republicans could be arrested because Obama said it was the Republicans putting a gun to their head.
Yes. So we should suspend
The
all
Republicans.
governments.
We should suspend them from the rafters.
I think, yes. And let them
Wow.
twist.
Well, it's time to talk about love.
Oh,
Just
finally.
to offset the violence.
Yeah, let's do it.
It is mating season.
For who?
Tarantulas.
Oh, because humans have no mating season.
No, we don't. It's
No,
have
it's
mating
when
lives.
It's when and if.
yeah.
Is a mating, but tarantulas. It's about this time every year. Now, dating is risky,
Yeah.
but nothing for us compared to tarantulas. First of all, tarantulas only come out at night, except when they're hot and bothered. They come out in the middle of the day, exposing themselves to their
Well,
predators.
right there, you got a problem.
The predators. And the female doesn't.
I was
the
going to
male
say,
does.
she's just
He comes out and
lounging
just
seductively.
What is he?
No, they wait in their little silk-lined boudoirs, which is 6 to 10 inches underground.
And what does he do? Flash a trench coat, or what does he do?
Well, he climbs down into the love nest, and then they conduct their business. But it seems apparently that the expression very occasionally, the girls will make a meal of their partners after mating. I'm going to have you for a wild time of sex, and then let's have dinner. I want to have you over for dinner.
Well, there are ex-wives that essentially do the same
That's the
thing.
same thing.
Yeah, just slower.
But even if they don't, apparently the guys die within a year.
Well, once you're used
yeah,
up,
what are you good for?
What good are you?
How long would they live other than
Well,
that?
the females can live up to 30 years.
Really?
The guys live.
So there's a
They'll die
way
within a
over
year.
female population of tarantulas then, isn't there? 'Cause
Well,
they
you
all
only need the male.
just
See, in my experience, about 3 minutes.
That long. Well, the tarantula is also exposed to the tarantula hawk, which you might think would be a bird,
yeah.
but it's a wasp.
Ooh.
Oh, this is ugly.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. You say it. I can't
Well,
even say
they
it.
hunt the tarantulas,
Yeah,
and then they paralyze it with their stinger.
uh-huh.
Then they lay their eggs in the live but helpless arachnid. That's
Arachnid.
tarantula for all of you. And
then the eggs hatch inside the tarantula.
And they eat.
then
They
they eat
eat
their way
the-
out.
The
It's sort of
inside
like the
out, yeah.
alien. Yeah, it's yeah. But don't pick a tarantula up.
Why?
I don't mean that as a date.
Oh, well, after what you've said, definitely
They're-
not anyway.
They're not poisonous, but they do bite, and it is painful.
I've held tarantulas.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you see people doing that all the time, and they don't bite unless you really aggravate them.
That's
right?
it. You just have to say, yeah, don't drop them. Don't make any real sudden move.
Yeah.
Like the one crawling up your back, Rich. Just Listen, I feel sorry for the female tarantulas. Do you know how hard it is to find a sexy nightgown with 8 armholes?
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not easy do the tarantella.
Ooh,
That was based on the tarantula.
tarantula.
Yeah.
Huh.
Absolutely.
That's right.
8 armholes. I'm an arm fan. So
that was the
would be,
first title of the movie Help.
What?
8
The
armholes?
No, the working title of Help, the Beatles movie, was 8 Arms to Hold You. In fact, when they released the single, Ticket to Ride, I think it was, on the 45 record, it said from the movie 8 Arms to Hold
Oh, that'd be collectible, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Inside your head, is that the Library of Congress? You pull out the most bizarre things.
It's a useless library of useless information. And there's nothing really valid in there. I can't remember anything, but that, if it's useless trivia, I got it.
Wow.
Well, what does it say in your head about Bigfoot?
Bigfoot. You know, from what I understand, that's a misnomer because I think they've said the entire thing is pretty big. How do they get the name Bigfoot? He's just got some massive foot. Hey, Floyd, get over here. Show him your feet. Well, gosh, they're saying he's real. There's, ABC News has reported that researchers have amassed evidence.
Other than that one footage of the guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm demonstrating the
Yeah,
famous pose of him
Yes, for
looking at the
radio.
camera going, you can't see me.
Your radio fans, yeah.
Yes, there's 100 pieces of evidence collected over 5 years, including a never-before-seen HD video of the creature.
I've seen it. Well, I saw what was online anyway.
You did?
They have pictures of one sleeping, kind of, sort of.
What's he look like? What is-
Hairy.
Hairy.
Very
and-
hairy.
Well, why isn't he an ape or something? What does he look different than an
Supposed
ape?
to be a hybrid.
Oh,
Gets good mileage.
Yeah, good. Yes,
Yes, thank you. It was too obvious.
No, that's very nice.
They claim they have DNA, but the footage of him sleeping is like 5-something years old.
Is he in a bed?
Nah, he was just on the.
The footage of him sleeping was 5,000 years old?
No, 5 years ago.
Oh,
5 years
5
ago.
years
No, no.
ago.
But they say they have hair samples.
Where'd they get those?
While he was sleeping.
Oh,
The barber.
well, why didn't they just capture the
Blood,
whole
skin.
thing?
This was the Sasquatch Genome Project, for those of you who want to look it up.
So he's called Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and there's a Yeti.
Uh-huh.
Isn't the Yeti the abominable soul?
I think so, but he's supposed to be one of them.
and
Yeah.
that's the same.
Maybe that's Sasquatch in a parka.
And Marvin. He's also
called
called
Marvin.
Well, Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that was a movie with John Lithgow.
There's supposed to be an upcoming documentary.
Oh, well, they've been talking about him for years on Coast to Coast. You ever listen to that all-night radio show?
No.
You know about it, don't you?
I've heard of it.
It's the most listened to radio show in the world.
I thought we were.
Well, we're number 2.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
Really? And they talk about things.
Oh, they talk about UFOs and all. It's just fascinating
KBC
stuff.
used to have Bill Jenkins.
Bill
And he did and I knew him when I was there.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
quite a
He did
quite a
stuff like that.
character. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy was Art
This
Bell who
gal-
started this. Huh?
The gal behind the Sasquatch Project, Dr. Melba Ketchum.
Melba Ketchum?
Melba Ketchum. And you know what?
Maybe Ketchum.
I've seen her, and yes, the name, yes.
Well, this is what Todd Disatel, a professor at Department of Anthropology, New York University, told ABC. It's just a joke, he said. She's a laughing stock of people that are a community that are already kind of wacko.
But they spent $500,000 on this.
But who did?
On this project. I
mean,
don't know
who-
where they got the money. We don't know.
Well, that's the first time maybe the government has ever funded anything stupid.
I wouldn't know.
I told you they funded air-conditioned little houses for cockroaches along the San Andreas Fault and put little sensors in the floors of the houses so when the cockroaches detected the earthquake, they would dance.
But why the air conditioner?
So they wouldn't get hot. It's very hot at the San Andreas Fault.
Cockroaches can live off the grease in a watch.
Yeah, I know, but they wanted them to be comfortable. I don't know. I'm just reporting.
Don't shoot the messenger.
No, let's take a break so I can reload my invisible gun.
Yes, I was going to say, shoot me with invisible bullets if you're going to shoot me.
And Lisa. And Lisa.
Well, welcome back to the Barry, Rich, and Lisa show.
Hi.
And hello.
Hi. Hello. Hi.
Hi. And now it's time for All Bets Are Off.
Yay!
Ah, yes.
Okay, well, I'll lead off with this because we have a new flavor of sexuality.
Oh.
We have had hetero for
Yeah.
a long time. We have had homosexual for a long time.
Right.
Bi.
Bisexual.
Try.
Huh?
Oh, I'm willing to try anything.
Trisexual.
What you got?
We've got metro.
Metro? I've never heard of that one.
No, seriously?
No.
That's the guy that gets the mani and pedicures. That's the guy from the city who,
Guy with fetish for buses.
the guy I would never date because I like
Manly men,
Yes.
yes.
As long as they shower, I'm good.
We're out of
Oh,
luck.
well, I'm out now.
But we have a new one.
Oh,
What?
Sexual.
Isexual.
And that's not being focused in on yourself. It's for those who are, well, here's the definition. I'll give you
All
the
right.
formal definition. Okay.
Right.
The state or quality of being sexually responsive only to various Apple eye products and the buzz surrounding them.
Being sexual toward Apple?
Okay.
products.
Products. Now, here's an example. Okay. We'll just do a little skit for you here.
Okay. All right. I'll watch this. Okay.
Now, in this skit, Rich is listening to an iPod headphones. Okay? So, I say, "Hey, Rich, you want to see a movie?" Rich, you want to see a movie?
I can't. I got to download some songs and retag all my music and my music collection on my iBook and
You are like so isexual.
You know, when you started to talk about isexual, it reminded me of that fad in Japan where people were licking each other's eyes.
Eyeballs, yeah.
Eyeballs, yeah.
Oh, it's just the letter I sexual.
No.
I'm waiting for eye candy to come. Why not? So, are we done talking about apples? I'd rather talk about ice cream.
Sounds good.
Ice cream. Okay.
Ice cream.
It's an eye theme today.
It is ice cream. Well, I'm from Minnesota, and this guy who managed a Dairy Queen in Minnesota got a phone call from the owner of Dairy Queen. Now, not just the owner of Dairy Queen, but the owner of Dairy Queen, Warren Buffett. I mean, Dairy Queen is probably not his only possession. Yes, he's got $80 billion and it's all tied up in Dairy Queen. But Warren Buffett called up because this manager did a good deed. There was a blind woman pulling out her cash to get ice cream at the Dairy Queen, and she dropped a $20 bill, and some woman swiped it. And this guy booked her, Dano. He wouldn't let that woman get away with it. He stopped her, got the money back, gave it to the blind woman, and it made it all the way up to Warren Buffett.
I was going to say, was Warren Buffett in line for a double dip or what? Like it dipped in chocolate, please?
When you've got $100 billion, I don't know how much he's worth, but he's worth a lot. You probably have a cadre of people who are combing your businesses looking for human interest stuff to bolster your image. So, I'm sure that.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's
I'm not
image
taking away from him. He called the guy.
Yeah, no, he probably, just because you're rich doesn't mean you can't be humane,
Yeah,
Why,
rich.
If you were humane, he'd give me, well, never mind. But this kid was only 19 years old.
Wow, that's great.
So he gets to go to Omaha.
He gets a year's free supply of Dairy Queen. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't
Soft
need it. He
serve.
manages it.
I know.
But he's invited to the 2014 Berkshire Hathaway shareholders meeting in Omaha. That's the Warren Buffett conglomerate of
Kinda
I Own the
sounds
World company.
boring.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd rather go to Disneyland or something else. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they said that they're still trying to figure out a way to reward him for his act of kindness.
Couldn't you give him a little cash? Wouldn't that be a
Well,
nicer
he
boy?
might.
Put him in his will.
But thank you, Mr. Buffett. There's that buffet.
I remember hearing a story about some CEO who was looking out the window of his office. I'm sure it was all on the corner with a big glass. And he saw a mid-level employee stop in the parking lot and pick up a piece of trash and throw it away. And he was so impressed by the work ethic, by the whole point of caring about the company that he immediately promoted that person. So ever since then, when I walk the dog through Sierra Madre, I pick up trash.
Hoping to be promoted. No,
Nothing.
it doesn't
Nothing.
happen. Yeah.
Nothing.
Nobody
Yeah, I've done
cares.
that before and not been rewarded for it.
Well, you don't know that you're not being rewarded. You may be rewarded in another
An invisible reward.
To go with the invisible guns, yes. Well, if it all does go to hell in a handbasket, I know where I can go now.
What?
that?
San Diego.
Really? That's the safe home, huh?
Well, the tarantulas being underground.
Yeah.
Well, there's some RVs down there too, apparently.
Under the ground.
A man is building what is believed to be the world's largest subterranean doomsday resort. Seriously?
I'm going to listen to this show. I love our
How do you
shows.
time it?
He's going to have a wine bar, a golf course.
Golf
Okay,
course.
wait.
Clunk.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, wonk, wonk.
4, 5, 6. It just hits the ceiling. What does that count as?
It's really, really deep. A spa and a dance floor, and you can just wait out the end of the
Of the world, and then
Yeah.
and you wait it out, and then everybody's down on top, so you come back up. But what's
Yeah. Well, of course, I'm wrong because I didn't read far enough.
Oh.
It's actually in Kansas, Atchison, Kansas. The San Diego man is building it.
Oh, I see. Okay,
it's
so-
Yeah,
so
land is
Kansas,
cheaper.
it's
Yeah.
much cheaper. Yeah. So you can have a 20-foot RV, and it only costs you $20,000 plus the cost of food, which is going to come from. They go up and go to Ralph's and pick up some stuff and bring it back down, I guess.
Interesting that they chose Kansas. Why do you think I find it interesting?
Flat.
No.
And
Come on.
Wizard of Oz.
Yes. The tornado.
And Toto too.
Yes.
Your little dog.
Not to divert, but I saw Wizard of Oz on the big screen yesterday.
The big screen?
3D at the big theaters in the mall.
They made it into a 3D?
Yep.
Was it good?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
To see those monkeys, which have always terrified me, flying
the
in
Winkies.
3D.
Winkies.
Is
They're
that
called Winkies.
Winkies?
I played one once. I played a Winkie at the Pasadena Playhouse version of Wizard of Oz. I played a Winkie.
Did they fly you?
No.
Oh.
No,
I love it when she does in The Witch and she apologizes to the soldiers and they said, "Are you nuts? Thank you."
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I almost didn't get.
But, you want to talk about the Wizard of Oz and the good witch Glinda. She wasn't a good witch. She could have told Dorothy right there at the beginning of the movie how to get back to Kansas. Just click her shoes together
But there
and
wouldn't
say
have-
there's no place like home.
But there wouldn't have been a movie.
There would have been a short movie.
Yeah,
I
a
know.
very short movie.
It's a morality play. Well, just to finish this story
go back.
up.
Yes,
it's
I
okay.
forgot.
Mediterranean homesick
Our
blues.
entire
Yeah.
show is one divergence, so
Yes.
it's okay. Digression. They're going to have emergency room doctors, surgeon, bankers, lawyers, and hopefully no government officials. But it has 1,500 spots, and they're already at 10% capacity. So there's
It's
time.
just the guy's family.
And is it $20,000 one-time payment, or is it by the
That's
year?
what it says.
Wow, you could stay. That's not a bad deal. Wait a minute. For a lifetime down there for $20,000.
Yeah.
That's.
Well,
But you have to get there in time.
Oh,
yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, you got 20 minutes.
Timing is everything.
That's a great retirement idea.
I think
Lydia and
we're
I
not
go down
getting
there for
all that
$20,000. We don't have no more mortgage payments, no more anything. We have golf when we get hit on the head from golf balls about on the ceiling, and we go to Ralph's every now and then.
How long could those generators work down there, though?
Well, it's probably meant to only be a short-term fix until
The apocalypse is over?
this is over. Maybe there are people down there with the shutdown. I'm cashing in, pal.
Shoot. What else we got?
What do you got going?
Well, let's see. How about, because this is all bets are off, how about acne-plagued actors? Because we haven't discussed them ever.
No, ever. I don't know if anybody has discussed that.
Oh, yeah, they just cover it up well.
Oh,
You know who's
boom,
number-
boom, boom, boom.
You know who's number one on the list? Brad Pitt.
I don't think he even knew he did that. Did you know you did that?
What did I do?
They covered it up.
They covered it. Clearasil.
Clearasil.
Wait, Brad Pitt? There's a joke in there somewhere, too.
No, he's arguably the most handsome actor in Hollywood
No,
next
Pitt.
to Barry Schwann.
Sorry, I had to reach for that one. Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I know.
Oh, was
I
that
got
a
it.
joke?
Yes, that was a joke. I have to
got it.
label my jokes.
We need a bell. You need to ring it when there's a joke.
Ding, Lisa told a joke.
Well, you look up real close. He needs to cover up the acne scars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could probably learn to live with them.
Yeah.
You could.
You can live with the acne
He was
scars.
the sexiest man alive in 1995 and 2000.
And then what happened?
Yeah. Well, why do
Camera
they?
angles got worse.
Why do they have to qualify it with the sexiest man alive?
Well, they have a contest every year.
No,
Well,
but I mean, do
dead.
they? What if you're dead? I mean, is
Sexiest dead man?
Yeah, do they have that too?
Well, I'm sure they have the sexiest man of all time. It's Abraham Lincoln.
I see.
Who's the
Okay.
sexiest invisible man?
Let's see. Megan Fox?
Megan Fox?
Oh,
is-
I don't think so. I can't imagine
Oh,
that.
with acne?
I don't believe that.
Well,
I mean,
we can
all
look
get
it up on Google. We can,
Okay. I mean, we all get the stray whatever, but yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio, that one's interesting.
Yeah, I could see that. I can picture him with a lot of pits.
Shall I sneeze on Mike? Because I'm going to.
Well, I could turn you off, or we could incorporate it in
Let's
the
just-
show.
Well, it'll stay in suspense. See if I do. Go ahead.
Wow. Okay.
well, Leonardo DiCaprio shared a co-acne plagued actor role with Kate Winslet because they both had problems with acne and they were both on Titanic.
Is that a coincidence? You decide.
Yeah.
He's never let his skin problems prevent him from dating supermodels. Of course, there's other things. I never let my acne prevent me from dating supermodels.
You know, what they do now is the beauty treatment on television shows. If somebody gets female or male gets a blemish, they can go through frame by frame and
take it out.
Photoshop it.
Yeah, and when they were doing Desperate Housewives, as the women aged, they were doing the whole dang show for every one of the women. Can you imagine?
God.
Lindsay Lohan, while we're rounded out the acne plague.
Oh, she's got bigger problems than acne. Okay, here's some things you guys probably don't know about yourselves. There are things about
I know
men.
everything about myself. Everything that possibly could be known, I know about myself. There's nothing that you could say that would not disturb me from you.
The invisible
You're suspended.
gun. Well, did you know that you have the ability to slow the aging process?
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. Well, this is why men look better longer, because they lose their collagen density more slowly, and so they resist wrinkles and sagging better than women.
Ooh, do they look better wider?
Well, it fills out the wrinkles. Well, Zsa Zsa Gabor said, when as a woman gets older, she can make a choice, either be very thin or fill out her face, have a couple extra pounds, and kind of fill out the wrinkles. Men have a more stable base. You know why? Base, because they have bigger feet. And it actually makes you...
You mean the base, meaning you're standing?
Standing, yeah.
Standing. Oh,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that actually
feet.
helps.
All right.
And, okay, I have to do this delicately.
Oh, we have.
Last one, but it's, okay. Men are very competitive when it comes to prolonging the species. And they did a study in 2004 that suggests the unique shape of the male apparatus actually evolved in a way that can displace any loving that the woman might have had previously and replace the sperm with his sperm.
Did you follow that?
You have a diagram.
Do you want me to be more graphic than
apparatus?
Well, I don't know. We only have a couple of minutes. Can you
draw you a picture?
Yeah.
Well, if a woman has been has already had relations and another male comes along, he can actually displace the sperm from the first man with his sperm because of the shape of his apparatus.
What does the shape have to do with it?
Eye penis.
It has to do with
Sorry, folks, but that was a 500-pound canary in the room.
I don't think I should get any more specific.
Whoa.
Just
She
one
brought it
on
up,
that one.
ladies and gentlemen.
Well, listen, this will be continued on our next episode because I still don't get this.
Okay, well, we're not ending on that note, are we?
No, we
Do
don't
have
have
another
to.
minute or
we
two.
Do,
okay,
we do.
Go
another
ahead.
minute or two. Yeah.
Woo-hoo, good.
Well, we got plenty of things we could talk about. We got highest paid actresses.
Okay, sure.
Sure.
I just know I'm not one of them.
Well, you're close. But Angelina Jolie, $33 million.
For one movie?
Well, that...
Yeah, probably.
No, it was for
No?
the cumulative total for the year.
Oh, that's not so much.
She could make that in one.
Jennifer Lawrence, $24 million.
Okay.
Kristen Stewart, $22 million.
Kristen Stewart. Oh, Vampire, or whatever her name is.
Jennifer Aniston, $20 million. Sandra Bullock, $14 million. It was an off year for Sandra. Charlize Theron, $15 million. Now, just this Julia Roberts, $11 million, but the guys...
They make more money.
Oh, yeah, Robert Downey Jr., $75 million. In fact, somebody said that the shutdown is costing $300 million a day. He says we could make a new Iron Man movie every day for that. Denzel Washington and Liam Neeson each collected $33 million.
Tom Hanks isn't on there?
He's not as hot as he was.
He's not as
but you know what? He makes deals where he doesn't get paid a salary. He gets a percentage of the movies he's in. He makes like $50 million a picture.
And I'm sure is producing. I'm sure he's got his own company.
He just finished the Disney movie he just did as playing Walt Disney is coming out December.
That's right. And he's got Captain Phillips out now, too.
I haven't seen that. I don't know about that one.
The Pirates were the...
Oh, yeah, I heard about that one,
took him out. Yeah. Well, I'd do it for a lot less than they get paid, but nobody asks me to.
Okay, kids. Well, we believe it or not, we actually have to wrap the show. So, any final words? Any words of wisdom for our? Remember, we have to have our last word. Remember, last week our word was, what was it? Kitschy, Gucci, or something. What was that word? Kitschy kaboo. Well, anyway, we have to have a final word. So
I fart.
I fart. Yes, you'll be picking that at your Best Buy soon. The I fart. The I fart.
Right. The I fart.
Let's see, I have to do it. Okay, I don't know.
The I don't know. That sums up for about most of our country today. The I don't know. Everybody's got an I don't know.
I don't know, yes.
And I got to get out of here. So do you guys. So it's time for the Barry, Rich, and Lisa show to close up and then get back into our little containers, zip up the flap, and yes, whatever he said, and we'll be back next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.